Hi, Ben from Second Dynasty here. For the last 5 years, we've been making 3D printable starships for tabletop gaming, having successfully launched over 5 Kickstarters. Now we are proud to announce our collaboration with Far Future Enterprises to bring official starships from the Traveller universe to your 3D printed tabletop. We have produced the most highly detailed Type S Scout imaginable, at glorious 28mm scale. And now we are adding a perfect starter project for first-time 3D printing hobbyists, our official Traveller Starship Miniatures. Based on the designs of renowned Traveller artist Ian Stead, each of these miniatures is printable in a matter of hours. Designed for printing on both SLA and FDM type 3D printers, these starships come in 2 different scales, the popular 1:270 X-Wing scale, and tactical, where the ships are all fit on a 1-inch base for tactical combat. Additional funding will unlock amazing new stretch goals that will be added to your core pledge for free. The more people who back the campaign, the more goodies we unlock, including many fan favorite ships. We love making 3D printable spaceships for all to enjoy, be it as tabletop terrain for gaming, display models, or even toys for the kids. There has never been a better time to get into 3D printing with our most approachable and easy to print designs yet. Your funds will go directly into production of our next 28mm scale starship, the Type A Free Trader Beowulf. With your continued support, we'll be able to bring starships from the Traveller universe into the 3rd dimension for a long time to come. Well, hello there. It's Ben from Second Dynasty here, and I have, of course, AlBen.
Sitting in the corner,
Yes.
enjoying life.
Well, in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which is technically my corner because I pay the rent. We also, at least Lotta's not with us today. She is off today, but we do have another quiet as a mouse person in the room, just so you guys know, our new intern, Petter. So, what are we gonna put him to work doing? The same thing, kind of, that we're putting AlBen to work doing, which is actually more of the same of everything. Zoom out, AlBen. So, what are you working on, AlBen? Briefly.
Okay, short stuff.
No, as in like a 1-sentence brief.
Type A, subsidized merchant.
There you go. So you're working on the model for that.
Yay.
Which one is Peter working on? The Type E, right?
The Corvette.
The Corvette. We don't have that screen hooked up, and it seems unfair too. He's only been here a couple of days, right? We shouldn't get judgy.
No.
But you know, next week it's free for John to do his thing. Wow, quite a few people in the chat, which is great to see. People returning week after week. Of course, what this all is about is our current Kickstarter, which, as you guys can see, is going very well. You can blink twice. That's in Swedish crowns. That's what Kickstarter does. But we can sort of like expand this plugin I have, bigger cake. We can see that we are doing very well on our campaign so far. Heading towards what they're predicting is about 67,000 euros, but I think it's probably getting even a bit higher because these things don't tend to really take into account the way our campaigns usually look, which is like this. So they're high on both ends and then low on the... Of course, this would be inverted here. So this should bow down something like that so that we end up with quite a lot of... oh no, we'll bow upwards, I guess, yeah. So it won't be a bow at all. That's a bad analogy, Ben, but the point is, we've had a very active, 9 days? This is our 9th full day of the campaign.
Mm.
Tracking-wise, if you look at our past campaigns, this is our best campaign yet, which is a good sign. It means that people are interested in Traveller, and they are interested in our smaller less intensive products like the ships. Sorry, I've got a bunch of nuts here. I probably shouldn't eat these while I'm talking.
Hello, welcome
But-
to the stream.
There you go. It's proof that I'm nutty. So we have unlocked so many stretch goals in between now and then, despite getting advice to set the requirements for, or rather, sorry, the funding level a little bit higher than I usually would. It has not impacted whatsoever our momentum, and I thought really quickly we would go through the ships that have been unlocked so far and what these stretch goals mean for you who have backed or are considering backing. I really shouldn't have eaten those nuts. I should also mention, I threw my back out, so I don't know how long this session will be. We'll have to see. I'm not eating any more nuts until we're done. In any case, first we have the Type A2 Far Trader. All of these, of course, are visualized by the wonderful Ian Stead. Biomass art, I don't know if it's around today, but yeah, we are doing very well, and I'm currently converting this from his SketchUp, and you can kind of see like the kind of model that we're working with. Normally this will come and appear to be like smoothed, so the edges will look smooth, right? So it looks fairly rounded. He can get some good quality renders out of it, but for our purposes this is a little too blocky, right? It's a little bit too pixelated, I guess. So I've been spending, represents about 3.5 days of work. This is one of the more complicated ships, and there's some mirroring yet to be done. But this is, we can see the front part of the ship is actually ready for printing. There's the open look clip ports, and in fact, here, ta-da! Camera close-up time. Oh, that's not me. There we go. So there we go. There's the front of the ship. This is in FDM. I did kind of like melt one of these little antennas. Someone was saying they should probably be separate parts. I will have a think about that. But in any case, prints pretty well, I think. And you get some nice detail. Let's see if it can not stop focusing on my hair. Come on. There we go. So some nice detail in there. You can see it there. Not too bad, huh?
Looking sweet.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. This ship is actually a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this thing can be 200 tons, the same weight as
Beowulf?
the Beowulf, yeah. So I guess maybe the Beowulf has a big butt or something. I don't know. But in any case, I'm not even keeping track of the chat at the moment. It seems like there are so many, so many things happening. But
yeah, some short
Oh.
things, I guess.
Yeah.
We shouldn't say this because it's a secret, but the Blasted Son of Launch is a Hybri. Something about Southern secrets. Not sure about that. Shards are hard. Hard for us all, I guess.
did you say shards?
Charts, as in not charts, but charts.
Oh, charts.
Yes.
There is a very important distinction.
Yes. But
Between-
both can be hard, though.
Well, usually it's a shart for a reason, and I would not say that hardness is one of those reasons.
Something is fantastic, and people know secrets. Ben is dying. All hail the new Ben.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you were coughing earlier on nuts, choking on the nuts. So yeah. I need to get a black wig apparently.
I think maybe AlBen should stop talking for a bit. Yeah, alright, so it's quite an intensive process. This is something some people have been asking about, like, because there's been some ships brought up as suggested stretch goals that I don't think Ian has models for. He's considered modeling but hasn't done it. I don't know how long Ian has spent modeling these ships, but it's many tens of hours, and the whole thing represents hundreds of hours, I'm sure of it. So even to get his visualizations takes a long time. And then for us, it takes us 3 to 4 days probably to convert it. Because the formats that we're working with, they don't... exactly fit well together. We get like a skeleton to work with, but some of that skeleton's a little bit inverted, and we're improving this every time we do a new ship. But we've been at it all week pretty much, and we've almost got 3 more ships that are ready for print. Well, they're not really that ready, but mine is. But I've been doing this longer. So I'm working on the Type A2 Far Trader. We have also unlocked the Type J Seeker. Now this is Ian's version, an important distinction because we are releasing our own as well. But that is a conversion of our Type S model, much like the Type J was a conversion of the Type S series. It's just that Ian's version is a different series of the Type S series. Type S is really a classification of ship, so it is the same sort of family, but they're kind of like, I guess, centuries apart or from a different part of the known universe or something like that. In any case, we have the Type K Safari ship. We have the Laboratory ship. That one's going to be a fun one to work on. People have asked whether or not the gigs or modular cutters or other craft will be detachable. I don't 100% know, but I would like to do it that way if possible. We have, of course, the Type R subsidized merchant, which is what AlBen is working on. So, he's beavering away at that as we speak.
Chomp, chomp.
Yes. Apparently that's what beavers sound like in AlBen's world. We have the Type GE Gunned Escort, which is one of my favorite ship designs. It's like if they scaled up the Type S into a real beastly sort of like patrol ship. We have the Type SD System Defense Boat. These are essentially like the heaviest armor, the heaviest guns, and no jump drive because they don't really care about jump space. They just they only care about the system you're in, and but they can pretty much chase you anywhere in that system unless you have a really, really, really fast ship.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Type E Corvette. This is the one that Peter has taken a look at. Petter. It's hard to switch languages sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially the same name, same spelling, just slightly different pronunciation due to the change in using the Swedish alphabet rather than the English one. Then we have the Armed Packet, which I really had no idea what this ship was for the longest time. Apparently it's a VIP ship to get VIPs or important information to the front lines. So it's heavily armed and armored and fast. Probably why it's 500 tons, so it's probably like a 400-ton ship, but they've just tried to make it a lot faster and more durable. We have, of course, the Type CE Gig. Really, it's just the Gig. It belongs to the Type CE. And, of course, Craig, who's in the chat, say hello to Craig, everyone, and worship him a little bit for his awesome work. We made a 28mm version of the Gig, which, of course, was Ian's design. If Peter can read and speak English, let him know how glad I am that he is here. If he can't speak English, just put a bunch of English curse words and smile. I think he can read it, but I don't think he's reading the chat.
No, I'm not.
Apparently we should worship the Craig as well.
Of course we should worship the Craig.
Mm.
Long live the Craig. I love it how he's not Craig anymore, he's the Craig.
Yeah.
The Craig to end all Craigs. Here we have our Type J Seeker, of course, which we unlocked at 31,000 euros. That's an insane number to say. I'm not really particularly happy with the render. This sort of like was a combination of a pre-rendered version of the Type J and a Photoshop filter where it tries to use AI to make it look more like Ian's. It didn't succeed so well. Then we have the Type Y yacht, which, although maybe not a fan favourite from the feedback we've had, both from Ian and from other people, I think it will make an interesting ship design. I don't think there's anything wrong with the design itself, it's just that it doesn't scream luxury yacht. It screams...
It just screams into the void.
It could be like a squid without legs or something.
Mm.
In any case, the next ship that we've unlocked, not the final one, but the next, the penultimate, for now, that seems to contradict itself. In any case, is the very cool Hybri Explorer. Some people have compared this to like a Zentradi ship, and I can see where they're coming from. It's kind of like a blimpish thing. The Hybers, of course, a lot of people don't know that in our last campaign, if you backed at any level which had the character miniatures, you actually got 5 Hyver miniatures designed by that blasted Semiflange in the stretch goals. Apparently, I was saving them, I thought, to the next campaign, and I forgot they were being saved, and I put them in the stretch goals already. So there was a freebie there. So I didn't announce that you guys have that. But yeah, if you back that campaign, you already have those miniatures. So you have the character scale miniatures of Hybers, which are very... well, let's just briefly look at the last update, because I believe I had a picture of them in there. Yes. Let's open this up. Yeah, here we go. They're quite an unusual species. So you can kind of see them there. The head is actually this thing that has a couple of eyes on it. They look very fancy. And then, of course, I need to give a shout out to that blasted Semiflange that is here with us. He is currently working on a Kickstarter that's going to release quite soonish. So we'll let you know. And then, of course, the final piece, and this was using actual cell shading in Maya and then just doing a bit of tweaking. This is a bonus stretch goal. So we happened to pass 500 backers, which was a secret social goal of the campaign. I decided like 2 days ago. Which means we get a bonus ship for free. So this is a variant of our Type S, but using the winglet and the snub nose. It's configuration I happen to love myself. Know a lot of people do. We're adding this in 1 to 270 and tactical miniature scale. So yeah, that's where we're at, and we're currently working away at the Donosev science ship, which is quite an unusual blocky type ship. I don't think this one's designed for atmosphere people. And then, of course, we have a list that goes on much further than this, all the way up to 100k actually, although, you know, we're probably not going to hit those kind of numbers until the last couple of days. So I anticipate next week we might unlock 2 or 3 of these if we're lucky. And then over the weekend, that's when things are going to rush. So we'll be having some kind of festivities, like an office gathering or something, counting down to midnight local time, which is when the campaign's going to end. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. That will be the week of Thanksgiving. But don't think about Thanksgiving or Black Friday. Spend your money on our campaign. Alright guys, let's see. If you have any questions related to the campaign, please do add them to the chat, and hopefully on occasion our dear beloved AlBen will read them, or I myself might glance across. Another ship with a 50-ton modular cutter, hint, hint. Tamsin, I can tell you, I can't show you the list, but I can tell you that the modular cutter is on it. So, rest assured, it will make an appearance. It's one of the ones that Ian definitely has, and we'll be looking into. And of course, there are a ton of variants of that too, so we'll see how it goes. Also, Craig's doing some pretty cool work at the moment that might or might not be related to that ship. So we'll see how that progresses. All right. One short word that a couple of people haven't seemed to understand, that the Type S is actually full 28 scale miniature. We had some questions on some Facebook ads and that sort of thing about pricing. Not feeling like it's adding up. So the Type S and 28mm hero ships, if you will, they represent, like, the Type S took us 5 months to develop. We worked with Zorma to get a lighting kit for it as well. You know, we tried to be as faithful as possible We kind of took Rob Caswell's version of the Scout from Mega Traveller because it was the closest in shape to the version we were going after. This is the 9 meter high version of the Scout, not the 7.5 meter version. And we tried to make it as true as possible with the interior matching as closely as possible. We can kind of see it here. Maybe I should add some additional graphics here so you guys actually understand the detail levels of this thing.
That's a good point. I mean, when you have the ship in the office and you know the size of it, you don't think too much about this image because it's like, that's a ship that I know. But now that I see it on Twitch, I realize that, man, it looks tiny.
It does.
And it's almost half a meter when you print it, so it's really weird.
No, it's well over half a meter.
It's over half a meter.
I think it's over 2 feet long, so it's like 65 centimeters.
Yeah. I was thinking the wrong way.
Happens a lot.
Yep.
Actually, I do have this scene which has. Now, this is a mess of a scene. From when we designed the prototype. So this is kind of like all of our... I'll just hide a few things. This is our Type S from... with some of the modifications installed on it. Just going to hide some of these things additionally. It's missing a couple elements like the landing gear. Doors are closed up and that sort of thing. Getting it ready for export. But you can kind of see on the 28mm scale just how detailed the interior is. Maybe we should add some shadows here. There you go. So, you know, you've got your full-on, like, freshers, and you've got your crew cabins. You can kind of see, like, the scale to some of our crew members. You have your crew commons with, you know, your galley, the all-important coffee machine. You know, in-flight entertainment with some kind of holographic projector. You've got your weapons locker with no weapons in it currently. Our vault. And Shadow Lego, who I believe is on chat, has made a bunch of variant interiors. I don't know that I got them in this scene, but yeah, these were all the stretch goals. So we did unlock, like, I want to say 9 stretch goals for this ship, like the winglets and the snub noses and all that sort of thing. The Type J, it's just a concept at the moment, but the interior layout is different. It moves the cabins forward, it adds some additional airlocks, you get these ore chambers, the air raft garage is bigger. This room, instead of being we have it as an airlock sort of area. This will be the crew commons, so there'll be like the galleon, a place to sit and enjoy in that. So it does represent about 50% new pieces compared to the old version. So it will take us a while to get done. So I think we'll have this somewhere close to where we want it, like maybe at the end of January, I want to say. Let's see, one thing I've noticed about a lot of the starships that people design is that there never seem to be laundry facilities. That's a good point. I think we do have some laundry facilities in our earlier work, but yeah, not actually putting them on the ship. But I mean, we're still putting more details in than most people do, to be fair. A dry cleaning variant, nice.
So that's never mind.
No. We did. There is definitely one where we have a washing machine. I think it was from Starship 2, one of the interior habitation packages or something like that. But yeah, we haven't really thought to put that in. So yeah, there you go. Liga now has some new stuff to do. All right, but we're not here for this. We're going to work on the A2. I'm going to try and get this mid-back section printable. Probably not in 40 minutes, but I have turned on a couple of lights in this scene just so that it like picks up the detail. You can see even more like where we're going from high detail. And mind you, this is not with mesh smoothing on. So you can see here where all the mesh is and just the detail level. So this is an example of the final sort of level of detail that we'll be doing on these models. So you should still be able to scale them up to maybe as much as twice the size, and it will still look pretty decent. The main thing that'll be different is that these turret connections... Oh, that didn't look completely flat.
Is it on the surface or is it skewed?
No, it was just it looked angled. Like there was... it could be the material actually.
Oh, okay. It's,
let's see, if I just assign Lambert 1 there... Yeah, okay, it was the material. Nothing to worry about, guys. I'm fine. My back's not fine, but I'm fine. So, today we'll probably be seeing if we can avoid crashing this ship, or rather Maya. I'm going to turn the lighting off at the moment, and a few other things just so that it will run more smoothly. I have a very powerful rig, but it is trying to stream at the moment. I don't like doing Boolean operations. Boolean operations is basically when you add, subtract, or merge two objects together, but you end up with a very, very dirty mesh. I have previously, just a couple of hours ago, Boolean together this section with this section, and you can kind of see, like if we look at the edges, sorry, not the edges, the vertexes, that this is not the most clean section. Like, you'd probably want to be like connecting some of these things. I could do more to clean this up, but it's kind of pointless. Well, not completely pointless, but somewhat pointless. And also very boring. So probably a better idea if I do not get fixated on this right now, Ben. Do not get fixated on this right now, Ben. Oh, you're fixated, aren't you? Yes, you are. Son of a bitch.
If you want something to distract your mind, there was a question earlier.
What was the question, AlBen?
The question was, so, would you confidently say that with this campaign's success, that the future of not only the Beowulf and the Gazelle's future is assured?
That I see what you're trying to do there. I would say that the future of the Beowulf is secured. I don't know what we're going to end on, but I'd say we've got enough of a budget now between what we usually, like we've got the Christmas season coming up, so there'll be some sales on MMF. Heads up, guys, there's Black Friday sale incoming today. That's 50% off all of our store stuff, so I mean, it's not ideal that it runs at the same time, but you know, if you don't want to buy packaged stuff, if there's only a couple of things that you want, this is the ideal time to be buying. So I believe that goes live like in a couple of hours. In any case, the code already works. You guys just need to know it. It's Black Friday. No, Black Dynasty 2021 is the code. So that will not work for stuff on the Pledge Manager. That just works for stuff on the store. So, just to be clear, fair and transparent.
That's a very edgy code.
Black Friday, Black Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it sounds kind of cool.
It does.
You should make like different ships that are like a subsector that are Black Dynasty ships.
I just want to like bring up the fact that I made the cool bonus stretch goal. We've made the graphic be a little black hole instead.
That's awesome.
So,
there was a comment here.
A comment or a question?
It's just a comment, basically.
Okay. So we don't need to answer.
But it's from Shadow Liger,
though. Okay. We always have time for Liger.
Yeah. First, he was talking about lavatory making their way into the kit bash. Do you call it lavatory? That's a toilet. No, you mean
yeah, but it's a synonym for a toilet. Yeah.
But then it was talking about booleans. If booleans are dirty, then what's my kit bashing?
Oh, your kit bashing is definitely dirty, but we both know that. We both know that. It's great though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but you know, if you want to look at the meshes, that's not going to be pretty. That's not going to be pretty at all. Mind you, when you're turning it into STL files, it's harder to tell because it all gets triangulated anyway.
Yeah.
So we definitely have some ugliness going. I'm just basically, you can see how I prepared this piece, right? So right now, ideally what I want to close off this entire thing before I actually merge it with these. Let's see if I can combine that. You can see I've already started turning this into a solid object. So these intersect, and again, children, booleans are dirty operations.
God damn it.
But sometimes they're necessary, and when you have the amount of work we have, it's all about like whether or not you're going to see the details, and also how much of a headache that's going to cause you when you're converting to STL. So I think I can select this and just close all the close all the holes. There we go. So now this should be a manifold series of objects, right? Obviously they're not interlinked, but Maya will know they're separate. So what we want to be doing is closing off, because I'm going to save this now because Maya has already crashed 3 times today. Why is that doing that? When I control S, it's going to select.
So Shadow Liger is saying, first of all, Pulsifer is saying filthy. And Shadow Liger is saying stretch the rear beta Centauri for a larger engine / gallery area. Galley.
I mean, he
found a way. But
oh, he found a way, yeah, because that's the thing he's been working on.
Yeah.
Lately. It's extending that cargo bay. So, which I actually sent him some files ahead of time so he can play with it. So, the Beta Centauri is very close to completion. Actually, AlBen, do you want to just get up and do a flyby with that ship very carefully?
Wow. Yeah.
I will move to the. We'll use your. Well, I guess we'll use my camera. Here we go. I'm just waiting to hear that. How does it feel?
It feels freaking awesome.
Is it stable?
It is very stable.
Mm.
I mean, this is the most stable ship that's ever been stable.
No support rods. No support rods. So the thing that's missing is we haven't got any of the RCS thrusters in. We still don't have the top bit of the back, but yeah, the engines are in, the struts are in. We printed some landing gear. It's the same old regular landing gear, but it fits nicer, I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the results of this. We still have a fair bit of the interior to print out after that.
But it's, I mean, I love the ship. It's awesome.
Yes, he likes to
And
take
tight.
it to bed with him. Thank you, AlBen.
You're welcome.
So getting back to this, we're going to see just how dirty booleans can be. So I have saved the scene, and now we're going to do a boolean operation, or at least I imagine this may crash now. So one thing we can do is select these. We're just going to duplicate them, and then we're going to remove the selected objects so that we have a backup. So if I go now mesh, really you're meant to boolean 2 manifold objects. That's like 2 airtight objects, right? This is not an airtight object. Sometimes it works. So we're going to see if this is one of those times. Mesh boolean union. And if it disappears, it didn't work.
So, Blasted Camouflage, you wants...
Holy shit, it worked!
Oh, nice.
Yes, so this is a less dirty boolean. Now it's integrated. Sorry, you can continue now,
Yeah.
AlBen.
After this suspenseful boolean, Blasted Camouflage said, next item by Second Dynasty, plush versions of all ships. That would be...
Plush?
Yeah,
Like soft toys?
soft toys. That you can take with you to bed, I guess.
I have had some interesting conversations. I don't
This is
know.
not one of them. Oh.
Well, don't sell yourself short, AlBen. You're only a marginal actor in the conversation. So, He didn't take offense. Okay, this is where I may have crashed. Oh no, yeah, I just did one of the cardinal no-nos of booleans. I forgot to delete the history. Yep.
Jesus.
So what happened was, and we can be very fortunate that it doesn't seem like anything's really changed here, but sometimes you do some manipulations on a mesh that you've used booleans on, and you go to edit it, and for some reason it'll delete a bunch of faces from the other side of the mesh for no reason. So we delete the non-deformer history now. I've just used my shortcut. Again, here if we go and we harden the edges, we should see that this is relatively smooth. We've got some plating here that I've been working on. We're going to select these in a little bit and continue with that. Oh, the green indicates we've lost the shader, so we're just going to apply Lambert 1 to it. That's fine. It'll all be the same color, but look nice and fancy. We can now go back and take these duplicates and, oh, can we? I mean, we can. We're just going to hide them, essentially. And then if we go back here, we can just translate this back to where it was. And I mean, we're going to add in this sort of detail. We're going to add some more paneling. But my main goal is to sort of get this mid half of the ship so that I can throw it on the printer tonight before I leave. And I'd like to leave straight after this, because my back is killing me. Just like AlBen. So the question is whether or not this strip needs to actually have geometry. It would be a pain in the ass to implement at the moment. So I'm going to leave it off for now and see how things look. Because again, we're working at scales where it's going to probably be just a little bit too small. Again, this is around about the size of the front at 1 to 270. So, I mean, you could possibly use a decal or something, but I think painting it would be really hard to get that kind of detail. So, we can always use just this image as a reference, but it doesn't show the underside of the ship so well. So, we did keep some sections, and really what I'm looking for is the panel discoloration. That'll give me a sort of like indication of where I might want to cut things out. I did accidentally delete some edge loops in there, but it really will not impact the curve of the ship so much. So that's an acceptable loss. So yeah, we want to integrate it with the floor. We want to bring this section together. So maybe the next thing to do is to sort of like cut up this and cut up this, and this will just be a section I think that we'll have sitting on top that will integrate with the rest of it, because that's the only piece of asymmetry I see on that side. I see that blasted camouflage knows about Maya. How's all the alien minis coming along, mate? Alright, so the quick and dirty way to get this mesh to line up is hopefully... Nope. Wait, which side are we on? There we are. We want to have a line here, and I was hoping it would align with the grid. It does not. But don't worry, there are some things we can do. So we don't need a duplicate of this because we have this side already. So I'm just going to delete the history here, and then what I'm going to do is isolate this here. Wait, no, not yet. We want this one, because really what I want is a line there, but we need to move this up so it's aligned to the grid, essentially. So what I'll do is I'll move the pivot point so that it is at the edge there. Then we're going to look at moving this up to snap to the grid. So this will be misaligned, but if we just go to zero this again, I'll move back to where it's supposed to be, right? So move it up to the grid because we want to line across this thing. So what we can do is take this value, minus 1.98, take this one, right, and we just translate in the same direction, and it should be aligned. And then what we can just do is take this mesh, and with the grid snapping on, we go to use our cut tool, and we can just align it to the grid. So we just draw a line from this side to that side, and now we have this nice line here that lines up with the rest of it. And then before we do anything else with it, we just translate it back to 0, and we translate this back to 0.
Nice.
And it should have matched up. Why did it not match up? That is weird. I have spoken too soon. For some reason this did not go. Maybe they aren't zeroed at the same thing. Okay, well, we can just move this. I'm not too worried about that line, we can get rid of it fairly easily, but if we then align this here, we know that this panel is meant to line up. Oh, it's meant to line up to this one, so we're gonna have to just do that. Okay. So we'll just try this again. There we go, a straight line across. And then we just change it back to where it's supposed to be. Maybe they're not scaled the same? I don't know. That should technically probably have worked, but... Oh well. Maya. Alright, any more questions?
Yeah, there were comments here. First of all, was it summer launch? He said it's going pretty good with his launch of his aliens. He is launching at 11 Eastern time, and he just primed his diplomat.
Oh, tonight? Shit, I didn't know about that.
Ah.
That's very soon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that, mate.
And Craig, they were talking about Tamsin and Craig, I think, talking about decals.
Yeah.
So they're probably easiest various sources sell hazard stripe decals or stencils and airbrush. That's from Tamsin. And Craig said he recessed a hazard stripe on the jig. He's not sure if it's the same size or not, but it really helped with painting, because you can paint it, then wash, then dry brush the edges easily. So that's a good thing.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to see if this lines up.
And he apparently hates Blender, but it's free. So, thank you.
I honestly do not think you would hate Maya any less.
That is a good point.
Okay, so I think to make this line up, the best thing we can do is just get this to align to something that we know is meant to be like there, and then moved to here. Because we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, here we have a bit of asymmetry again. So it's got this thing on that side, and although I think this kind of looks like this side's just undetailed, so we might see how we slice that in the end. So yeah, let's get that line in. I'm just going a bit wide when I've got all these other things, just to ensure that I'm only snapping to the grid. So let's move this back 0. So I'm starting to think that having this part the way I want is quite achievable. So let's see. I mean, to get something printable before I look at the time. It is what it is. Okay, so now we probably want to cut this. So the question is, did we get a line on the bottom too? Yes, that's the line there. So we're just gonna go in, select the faces up until that point, and then we're just going to do a mesh, edit mesh, detach operation, and then a mesh separate operation. So now we have a mesh here. Oh, so you can see all the lights and everything in this scene, and a mesh here, which is exactly what we wanted. And here we will do the same. Did I put the line in the wrong bloody place again? I did, didn't I? I put it there instead of there. Ben! You're frustrating me.
It can happen to the best of us.
Well.
Also, some Flange is saying that maybe one day he'll make his own spaceships for his aliens, and that's why he watched these streams, to steal secrets. Plus, we folks are fun, apparently. Don't know what he's talking about.
I've never heard that before. But thank you for the vote of confidence.
Oh. And apparently you can start a fire with decal paper and incredible graphic in a printer.
Oh, that is actually good to know. I haven't actually used our decal paper yet, but
That's for laser printers, though.
What have we got? Color laser jet. I guess.
Sounds like laser.
I think it's a hybrid. I can't remember. Sometime in the late 90s, I was a very briefly a printer repair guy, but I can't remember anything. We're doing the same thing. We're just separating out that, and we'll also be just cutting this piece as well. It appears that this was separate. Okay. Well, we can just recreate that in any case. So I'm also going to do something here with these pieces very quickly. This is still triangulated. So we're going to see if we can get rid of some of these additional unnecessary lines, and we're basically going to look for the patterns here and see, oh, they don't look right. Okay, so I think we'll just get rid of some of these smaller lines. What?
There was a comment here, and there was another comment here for a first-time chat from Ali 7098A. That's a word, apparently. Welcome, first of all, to this stream, and he is saying, really looking forward to the tactical-sized Chimera and its other variants.
Ah.
The Type S campaign encouraged me to get into and run a Traveller campaign. Are there any plans to do a Traveller-friendly variant of the Chimera?
Well, I mean, it is already fairly friendly in the sense of it's our most modular ship, the Chimera series. So really, it would be more a case of just building out, some jump drive sort of. You could probably repurpose quite a bit of the Scout into the, installing jump drives and engines and that sort of thing. It's really that's gonna not match up, in the fact that most of my older ships are working under the presumption that it's like Star Warsy tech levels, which Traveller is in many ways, but not when it comes to fuel. Like, fuel's that thing that they just glossed over in all but one film that I don't acknowledge its existence. I mean, it is a thing, but it's not the thing it was portrayed to be. Anyway, we don't want to scare Peter with all of my talk of the abomination that is the sequel trilogy. In any case, we're going to detach this section, and I just pressed the 3 button, which actually is going to give us some mesh smoothing. If we look at this with our edges, we've now got way too many edges, and I really should have planned this better. Let me go back a step. Oh, okay. Oh, right, yeah, here's the issue. So what we needed to do is come in and grab this edge loop and just add some creasing on that, and that will make it so that when we press 3, this edge loop stays in place. So now, instead of having 8 evenly distributed edge loops between here and there, we should get 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So dividing up into 2 sections of 4. So if I press 3 again, and then I convert this, that is exactly what we get, right? So that's what we wanted to have. I haven't done it any more detail than this and I'm actually going to go back and delete these extra edge loops, because we wanted the, basically we wanted to get the focus on getting this curved, not like in this direction. We don't need anything because it's a straight line, right? It sounds like there are more comments.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there going...
That's my cue to... Let's read some comments.
Yeah.
First of all, apparently you can dial down the temperature on the laser printer. And then there was some comments about... Bossed Summer Launcher is saying is... So, if the office burns down from the decal papers, you become third dynasty. And Greg is saying, right, solid. I'm going to print it right now, live on air. What could possibly go wrong? That's kind of gutsy to actually type that phrase out, I think.
The decals?
No, to say what can go wrong.
Oh, right, yeah.
He actually said it. That's impressive.
He
got some cojones.
Cojones. Ah. I've been playing Far Cry 6, so...
Oh, okay. Because that's the latest one, isn't it?
Yes.
Ah, is it any good?
So far? Okay. Yes, I would say so. So we want to rebuild this geometry. We're looking for where we can do that. Essentially, we're looking to merge this, and it looks like most of the pieces are in place. So if I go back to vertex snapping, there we go, and I should be able to do the same roughly here. It's not perfect, but close enough. So I'm just moving these so that they share the same coordinates, because then we can very easily merge these two sections into each other. Hopefully that, yep, that fits there nicely. There's one there as well, one there as well, and then this thing should be able to fit into that corner. Oh, no. No, it cannot. Okay, so there are a few things we might want to patch up here. One of the things I'm going to do is just manually move this over. Sometimes we don't need any more than that. So we're going to change the angle of this to match that. So I don't want some of these extra faces down the bottom here. So we're just going to... For one thing, these aren't necessary. That one's not necessary. This one we can bring up there. We're going to bring this one up there, that up there, and then I think this should be an unnecessary face. Yes. So we're just like trying to reseal these. I'm just going to bring this slightly forward. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to just go into my to change the orientation of this. I'm just going to align this to this line so that when we try to snap it to that one, yeah, it looks like it's all meant to be. And then when we take that away, it looks like a natural continuation of this piece, right? So that's that. God, that's... Oh, this is the line that we didn't really need, was it? I don't know. Some of these things easily solved just by doing some simple triangulation. This is kind of like an unnecessary piece. Probably the best solution would be to just bring this back a titch. Oh, okay, this has created an n-gon too, so I'm just going to take that and close that off. And then, yeah, we want to... Essentially, we're going to isolate this, I think, so that we can... Oh, wait, we didn't... Let's combine these. Ooh. How are you finding it, AlBen? This is your first time doing these. Do you want can't really work.
It's kind of interesting in a way, I think. Well, especially when you look at the Type R, because it's basically a slightly deformed cylinder, and you have shapes cut into it, like curvature on what would you would call like doorways and stuff like that. That you cut into curved surfaces. So there's like curvatures to go around for days, and that can be difficult in the best of circumstances, I would say. So that's kind of an drag in time for me. I think that I have to remodel the base hull and add parts onto it, because I can't really use the original hull as it is too low poly to have a good curvature. So that's time consuming, but it's also meditative. A lot of polygon modeling, so that feels good. But it also feels nice that someone has thought out the basic designs and you can just color in the lines, so to speak.
Yeah, that is a nice thing. I seemed to have used the shortcut for pin components, so that's why that was not lining up correctly, but now it should be. So like this didn't give me the correct result, but the easiest thing is to just, take some of these components and essentially recreate what we do want. So we're going to go and match this with that, and then we'll just bring that back here. And now if we merge all of these, the colors are off, and we need to harden these edges so that we get rid of some of these issues. Maybe we do need to do a conform and a set to face to ensure that all of these mesh components are actually working correctly. There's a couple of n-gons here we need to get rid of as well. But generally I'm just adding to this paneling, getting ready to basically merge these two pieces, which will then mirror. This thing seems to be just some kind of like I guess like a fin, so we could probably get away with just extruding this. Oh, pressed the wrong button. Let's bring that there, and it looks like it just goes straight ahead, so maybe we'll just do something like this. That is a bit ugly. Let's see, maybe we'll move it manually just to like there, where it intersects, and then normally I wouldn't do it this way, but why the hell not? Let's just go for the quick, dirty, and somewhat ugly solution of just moving all of these vertexes so that they essentially line up with this plane. There's not that many of them. So this is an example of what you could do instead of doing a boolean. It is a bit more time consuming, but if you don't have too much to do, or rather if it's something fairly simple like this, it's usually more worthwhile to do it manually. See, we're almost halfway through already, but you can also see why this is a tedious thing. And you can kind of like, if you want to get more zoomed in, you can just move some at a time. Probably worth iterating, especially when we have some new people watching that are getting interested in hard surface modeling and that sort of thing. There is not a wrong or right way to do this sort of thing. There's usually several different ways. If you can end up getting a mesh that's fairly clean, with these ships, because of their complexity, because of the fact that they've been modeled in SketchUp and that sort of thing, I fully expect there'll be some mesh errors that we'll have to run through NetFab to fix. But the trick is trying to get as many of those as possible out before it comes time to NetFab. Alright. So now we only have 5 or 6 of these left. And, I mean, this isn't going to be perfectly flat, but it should be fairly close. So we're just getting it to the point where these vertexes, the yellow bits, are just disappearing slightly into the mesh. Alright, that'll do it. Oh. Isn't it a bit weird that we pulled that forward, but it doesn't look like that fin is fully centered?
Nice. So, Tamsin was a bit worried here earlier. She wanted, she noted that Craig has gone very quiet. She hopes that it's not a sign of decal printing disaster. And just now, we got an update from Craig Pay. It worked! Tamsin is saying yay! And, or yay! Perhaps, I'm not sure. Craig Pay says, I'll pop a photo in Discord, no fire. Okay.
Alright, so that's probably an indication that you guys should check out our Discord. I've been really bad about putting our social links into things this time around, actually. So definitely something you guys should check out. Yeah, see, this was off just a little bit. So we'll be able to address this now. Have you seen if Ian's in the chat today?
He was in a little bit. Oh, was he? I'm not sure now.
I don't remember. If you are there and paying attention, I'm just wondering if the lack of detail on this side is just because you didn't mirror it. I don't think it's going to impact things too much, though. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to do a bit of manual poly creation. And again, like, honestly, guys, if you have a choice between learning Maya and learning, what's it called? Blender. At this point, I would recommend you start with Blender. There is no reason why you should need to, even if you can get a student version of Maya. All of the professional recommendations we've heard these days is like, just get started in Blender. The same principles can be transferred to Maya. But also, for what we need it for, Maya is honestly a complete overkill. We do not need animation, we do not need particle simulation. You know, we do need some rendering to make things look nice. But as far as like all of those tools that are available in Maya, and Blender has most of those, Blender has all of those things for free. So there's also that. But yeah, before I do an extrude there, I'm just going to move this forward a tad.
So I got the, let's see now. So I do this correctly. Probably not. Who knows? There we go.
You got a what?
Huh? What the hell is going on?
I really don't know. You started talking.
Yeah, the thing is that we got some images from Ian about his decals. I'm sharing them right now on from the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Does that work? Because it looked kind of weird when I sent it to you.
I'm not looking at anything on Discord.
Ah.
Wait, I can't share that screen. I can share. Wait, what? Huh?
Oh, you can. Okay.
I need to like. I can maybe do this. This is what I can do. Damn, that's a lot. Also, you said Ian instead of Craig, I think, which is why I was further confused.
Ian, I guess. I'm not sure.
So yeah, so there you go. That's a hell of a lot of decals. They're really cool ones though. What's that from, Craig? I don't know, I haven't really seen it, but is it like Attack on Titan or something maybe? Oh guys, I watched the end of Evangelion last night. Oh, I have mixed emotions. I don't want to add any spoilers, so I can't complain too much, but yes, it requires some thinking, as usual. and there's no guarantee that you'll have any idea what you just saw. But it was entertaining enough. Aside from I wasn't quite happy with what happened to Shinji romantically. Let's leave it at that.
Apparently it's a Second Dynasty community share thing. And kind of a mishmash when it comes to the decals.
What?
The decals that you...
No, I understood that. I'm just like, they don't look that familiar to me. But oh well. The monsters things reminds me of the Mach 2 monster destroid. Oh yeah. Now that is a sexy beast. I would love to have a 28mm Mach 2. That would be insane. Oh yeah, we forgot to... Oh, okay, yeah, we're going to have to redo that geometry there, which is fine. We do not need this corner. We'll just make it so that that matches it already does. So we should just be able to do... No? What's going on? Okay, we needed to delete this face here. And there's a couple of faces here by the looks of it that we need to delete. That look like they're double-sided. Wait, there we go. That should be fine. So now if we grab that edge and that edge, we'll do a bridge. So yeah, like Blender will have the equivalents of all of these tools, and in fact I'm sure it's probably got even better mesh tools, because Autodesk doesn't have nearly the incentive that you know, people that work on Blender have to improve the program. So I am starting to see that getting this done today might not be entirely in the cards. We have a couple hours left of work, so that's not really the big issue at the moment. The issue is that let's see. If we, I don't want to turn this grey yet, because if I do, I'm not going to be able to see where the panels are supposed to be. We need to both mirror this side. We need to fix the bottom section. We need to sew it all together. I just realized I need to chamfer these edges so that it looks as smooth as that. It's not like it's going to take a ton of time, but it's going to take enough time, and we're already at 4:05. And I don't think I have it in me today, sadly, to do that much time. I kind of want to get home and lie down. So I'm just doing some of this triangulation and whatnot before I turn this into panels. So we'll see. I've said that now, but then like I haven't stopped yet, have I? Let's see. Maybe we can have like a prototype that I can print out that will replace with like a proper version or something. Because some of these like engons and things I haven't really been bothered patching up as much as I normally would. We could do a version where this, you know what, on my model, that not being smooth probably won't make that much of a difference for now. So I could probably go back and fix that later. In fact, it would probably be good to know whether or not I'm overkilling the detail on this. Ah, well that's not great. We've got some holes here, and the hole is where? It looks like the hole is on that edge there, so that means that we're missing some mergers here. So if we merge that, does that fix it? No, it does not. Okay, it looked like there was something hidden under there. So usually the trick here is to delete these faces and that face as well, and then we'll just crap, maybe not. Well, maybe. You can sort of see here that we have some sometimes I see things you guys might not see. I have to remember that.
That sounds kind of ominous.
it does, but you know. Yeah. I'm just making some basic changes here. Like all of this, the main thing is to remember the patterns. I think, yeah, with the underside, there's a lot of crap to do as well. Might go quick. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going for a little bit longer. And then it might turn into like 5 o'clock and I'll be like, but I have something printable. The key here was to get this as a closed section that we can actually fill hole on. And then we'll do it the same on this side. So this is like a funny shape. We want to make sure that we triangulate it before we do anything. And then we're going to turn this into a like paneling using our extrude technique. So put one, and then we'll do the same here, like so. So I think that makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Where else do we need it? Actually, this is looking fairly good. We just need to add some more panels here. 0.1. And this is all to do with the scale that we're at. So I think we can, okay, if we just maybe fix that. That looks like it's meant to have more of a pattern. Like there. But at the same time, that's going to sit there, so we might leave that until after we've mirrored. So what I'm just going to do is go down here maybe, minus 0.1. So we know where we're going later. And yeah, I think we need to do these. There we go, 0.1. You'll note here that this is going pretty well and pretty quick. But had we merged everything, it would have taken a lot longer. I'm just moving that back because we're going to have that mirrored as one. Oh, okay. Did I miss something? So the way to solve this would be to delete these faces, and we're just going to bring this geometry together. So we're just going to match that corner, match that corner. We'll merge them in a sec, and it'll be the same here where we want to merge that to there. I'm going to delete this face, maybe this one too. Any more questions, AlBen? Or if we come to the part of the show where they get quiet?
It's kind of quiet, I guess. They're talking about earlier that you had Macross on your brain, and that the 28mm monster would be crazy.
Yes.
People like the decals on the Craig. And he found, I think he kind of found who made the decals. You could search for water slide in the conversation on Discord, I think. And the Discord name for the one who shared was Dark Shear. Shire, kanske.
Here is the. I'm
hello there, chunky boy.
There we go. That's the Mach 2 monster, and there's a guide to scale. Monster. It would be insane.
Oh damn.
Oh damn indeed. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think US Harmony Gold is going to give me a license to do that. What do you think, guys? I have talked a lot of shit in my life about Robotech, and to be fair, I would continue to do so. It's an abomination.
You're a man with principles.
Well, see, I have mixed feelings because I grew up on it. It was an important thing to me, but it's shit. Less than the sum of its parts.
That sucks.
Well, that's what happens when you take 3 completely different series and try to sticky tape them together.
That sounds like a freaking headache.
Yes, well, it's called syndication. Okay, right. So let's see what we can do here. So I think the best solution is to maybe separate all of this detail, so we'll do it in a later pass. So again, all I'm going to do is go in here, grab all of that, and I'm going to separate this. So this is the same as the operation we were doing before. Normally I do a delete history operation just so that we can, like if we look at this now, you know, we've got a good half here going on. We don't have any overlapping issues at the moment that I see. I mean, this is pretty plain down the bottom, but at the same time, this is at, you know, underneath the ship. We can just grab these off-colored pieces in sections maybe, and sort of just do our usual hull extrusions. Let's see. So this is going to be the flat side, by the way, guys. I think this is probably actually going to look quite reasonable anyway. Okay, there's a couple of unwanted faces in here. Quite a few.
And we're not talking about you, the viewers.
What?
Unwanted faces here.
No, we are not talking about you, our beloved dear viewers. AlBen. How dare you insinuate that?
There was a commentary about Harmony Gold.
Oh yes, it's a Robotech thing.
That it, apparently they are supposed to have made nice with Macross.
I'll believe it when I see it. When I see anything other than Macross 2 or Macross Plus that ever has made it outside of Japan, like I know it's made it probably to some of the countries in South America and that sort of thing, because I think US Harmony Gold really couldn't police everything, despite claiming that they have, you know, all international markets. But when we see Macross 7, Macross 0, Macross Frontier, Macross Delta, and all their respective movies in the West, that's when we can start talking, and that's hopefully when the price of fucking toys will come down. It's a nice toy, but I mean, a child could not afford that. But I've made a deal with myself that each and every time we have a successful campaign, I buy a new Macross toy. So I get a new one soon. Only problem is the only stuff that's concurrent now, I think it's Delta stuff, and I'm like, eh. I like my favorite's the movie, so that is the 1984 Macross movie, because the design in it is incredible even today.
It's increíble.
Incredible. Alright, this looks like it's getting pretty close to acceptable paneling levels. We're going to have to just shift that forward just a tad, but I don't think it affects the paneling. Normally I would do the side panels as well, but I think we're good. So I'm just going to take these ones, because again we're printing like this, right? So this is the flat. So we don't want these overhangs. So we're just going to angle these slightly, moving them manually, so that we don't have to worry about that. Here it's on the flat, it's not an issue. And now we go to the final stage. Oh, okay, this is why I took that out. So, final stage is sewing all of this together. So now that we do have the panels, let's go and assign Lambert 1. So it's all the same color, and then we're going to merge these. We're going to just merge anything that happens to be already close together. We're also going to close this off. This I'm just saying happy weekend to my colleague Eleanor, who has actually worked on some Traveller stuff for us before. She's an animator, so she did some sketches of some of the character miniatures we made. So yeah, again, this would ideally be curved the same way that this is curved, but we'll see if that actually even shows up, and that will also be a lesson for me that I should maybe not have put in so much effort if it doesn't look like it actually mattered. So again, okay, we need to close that off. Here we can close it off with a simple fill hole, and then we'll, oh, no we can't apparently. So this has some kind of flaw. We need to identify that flaw. So really what we're probably looking for is like a line or some geometry that's out of place. And this is it there, that line right there. So this must be something that's left over from that weird section where it didn't deform. It didn't deform correctly. So if we delete that, we should now be able to close this. And it's closed. Note there how much longer it took to process that closing. This is why we work with the separate meshes, okay? And we can certainly at this point, we could go and just set the pivot point somewhere in the center, and we can just freeze the transformations. Oh, that's the pivot controls. And we can Control-Shift-D, which will duplicate but instance. So essentially when we work on this side, it will mirror on the other side as well. So if we fill in this hole here, which I think we should be able to do, you see it fills in on the other side too. So really these aren't two separate objects, it's just like a mirror version of this one. So we know what the final product's going to be. And we can sort of like move this out at present. Just to the side, we can always move it back again. Do we have any more comments?
It's kind of calm.
Okay.
That's a no.
That's a no. It seems like people are like usually just pay attention for the first hour and then after that they're like, eh. Does that mean you don't love us? Is that how we should read that?
Oh, the pain. Will it ever go away?
No, AlBen.
Oh, I doomed. I doomed.
But as Evangelion has taught us, we all get sad sometimes. I think that was the ultimate message they were trying to say. Was it 25 years or something in the making?
They are concentrating and they love us and working on banners and stuff. Printing, what do you call it? The words, they do not belong in my mouth at the moment. That's kind of a weird sentence.
It is. It's. I was trying to see if I could make a "that's what she said" out of it, but ultimately no. I could not.
You could. Jesus.
All right, we scared away Peter. I mean Petter. I got to get that right. Yeah. I don't like it when Swedes call me Benjamin. I hate it, in fact. It's a hard J, damn it. A hard J.
It's a hard J, damn it, man.
Yeah, it is. This is why we moved the regular time of the show to Thursdays. It's Friday. It's beer o'clock shortly. And yeah.
We're falling apart.
Well, to fall apart, you need to have had it together in the first place,
That's
AlBen.
a point. That's a point.
So yeah, we haven't quite gotten to the point where we're ready to start bullying Petter. But we'll see if he gets there.
Oh, is it Petter or Peter?
Peter.
Peter.
Oh fuck. Petter. See, I can't do vowels in Swedish apparently, even after like this stupid amount of time I have lived here. It is a little bit, yeah, embarrassing, I guess. But then again,
There are worse.
no one complains. See, not even Petter.
The bullying has already begun.
Yes.
I'm just gonna call him Pete.
Peat, isn't that some kind of fuel?
PEAT is PETE is short for Peter.
Yeah, I can't hear the difference.
Now you see my problem.
So are you a fuel source or are you a person? That's a conversation, I guess.
You are correct. It's a conversation, AlBen. Is it one any two actual people should have, or something that bots on the internet might exchange with each other? The answer is it's Friday.
It's Friday, bitches.
Oh, I definitely am not going out this Friday.
Yeah, it's cold. I'm changing tires this weekend. It's going to be fun.
On the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a man.
Alright, you got me there. I got mine changed today, and I did pay 800 crowns for it or something like that. I'm a different kind of man, apparently. A man of spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also your boss, so watch it.
What is going on?
No, I wish I knew more about cars, really, but at the same time, I can change the tire if I have to.
Yeah.
The reason I pay someone else to do it is because I hate it. And also because as a part of that price, they store your summer tires.
Oh, you pay 800 for storage?
Yeah, that's storage as well.
Oh,
So
man,
otherwise,
that's
it would be
nice.
steep. So
Sweet.
there's cheaper places, but it's like that's also the place I lease my car from.
Oh.
Yes, I lease my car. You know why? Because I have no idea what fuel's going to be cheap next year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's a strategic choice.
This could almost become like a sketch for someone who becomes more and more insecure.
You're talking about you or me?
Me! Definitely me!
Oh, I'm not at all confident with that answer.
Oh, Tamsen wrote something. It's Friday, but it's not 5 to 5, so it's not how to spot slightly older UKers. It's not 5 to 5. My head is confused. Is it
it's
like
not 5 to 5. So not 5 to 5. I guess they leave 5 minutes early on Fridays or something. I don't know, but it would be pub time, yeah.
Ooh.
Like, oh, that. Have you thought about that album?
Have I thought about it?
If we move to Vänersborg,
oh my god! It's
like
going to
that becomes a possibility.
that becomes
Like
real.
it's a Friday. Oh yeah, I rode my bike to work today. Great, let's go to the pub.
It's too close to ride the bike. That's the
No,
good
for
point.
you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. God damn it, that's going to be sweet. It might actually become dangerous, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, I'm already enormously overweight from COVID. But adding, like, being able to drink, like, middle-aged men should be able to at the pub on a Friday evening.
Oh, it's something called Cracker Jack, apparently. And it's a kids' show.
Okay.
Okay. It's a catchphrase for the kids' TV show. It's Friday, it's 5 to 5, it's Cracker Jack! I have no clue what the hell I said.
But you said it with enthusiasm. So,
That's how to live life.
it is.
And how to end life. If you're not careful.
Alright, so this will be a prototype for another reason. Somewhere in this bottom we need to put the stand in, and we're not going to be able to do that tonight. So my aim here is I'm going to take this thing and I'm just going to raise it up a bit higher, probably. Let's see,
55 to 84.
1984.
Yep. That's the runtime.
When it, yeah, okay.
Mm.
I get what you mean.
Oh, not the runtime. That's how long it airs.
That's when it aired.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm just going to stick to this modeling thing. Let's go.
Well, that's good. That's what I pay you for. Not for your commentary on British children's programs. In any case.
Oh man, that makes me think about that woman who was pretending she could do sign language. She was live interpreting people.
Oh my god, that is so hilarious though. That like it's like, yeah, give it to her.
Yeah, that's Jesus Christ. She was like what do you call it, convicted for faking this interpretation skills and doing it in different shows and stuff like that. And then I guess she just changed state or something. And she actually did the bullshit sign language for the police. I can't remember which state it was, but it was like...
That's such balls.
It was so fucking funny.
I hope everyone followed that, because it is a pretty funny story.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. It's alright. Let's see. So we've got this. It's basically mirrored. So I'm going to cut this up on Monday. So I'm just going to duplicate this and put it to the side again, so we can pick it up at a later date and continue working on it. But for now, we're going to just merge these. So mesh, combine, and we need to go through and grab all of these vertexes. Like, this is the quick and dirty version. We're probably going to go back and add a little bit more detail, but I think it's about time I actually get a good look at what this looks like. So I see one other issue here for printing. We need to move this slightly. Why is that not centered? That's reset. Oh, we had two objects selected. Okay, that's why. So if we select this now, if it's merged correctly, yeah, both sides are selected. We're just going to move this slightly in that direction, and that will, again, it'll be printing flat, so we'll get all of this nifty detail. So yeah, this will not be the last version of this, but we will go mesh, combine, and this was a complete separate object really, and we could select that again and we'll be able to separate it. So we should be able to close this off now. The fact that it closes off is a really good sign. I'm going to triangulate that. It will be a mess if we ever have to separate it, but we probably don't. So let's try this as well. That looks like it'll close. That looks like it'll close. We close them off. Hey guys, look at this. I think we have a part to print. And I think it will mostly print. What we do need to change is these. These need to be at a slight angle. Again, for the same reasons. And it's at such a small scale that you're probably not going to notice. You would notice if we scaled it up. So let's go save this scene. We can now see like the whole front of the ship. If we turn our lights back on, put our shading back on, you can see that's looking quite nice and detailed. There was less paneling in this section, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think this is going to pick up quite nicely. So let's export this. So I've got my quick version. I'm in the right scene. Export STL, miniature prototypes, and prototype STLs. So we want to go, I guess this is the center of the ship. Midsection. That sounds like a more shippy term. And then we want to go start Prusa Slicer. This is not the version I would prefer, but I don't really want to go digging through my downloads and everything. Let's see. Okay, that was for the actual campaign. I think we need to get up here, go into Traveller 2, go into Export, STL, Miniature Prototypes, and we get our midsection. You can see it's imported in upside down. We see down here 139 errors. So you can see that the mesh itself looks fairly stable. Let's orient it first for printing. I have my seams, oops. I have my seams pointed towards the back, so I want to orient this so that the detail part we want to have at the front, basically, or on the top rather. So when we actually do slice this, we'll be able to see in a second where it's going to put the seam, and it looks like it's down the middle here. So that really won't interfere with much that's visible on the top, right? That's the idea anyway. All of this looks good. I didn't see anything that was saying overhang, so let's just go in, fix through netfab. This may take a moment.
Shadowliger wrote earlier, by the way, just printed a raft last night. Really liked the bucket seats.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, man. And
I mean,
good for you.
Michaela is probably the one to thank. So aside from this curve, which is slightly maybe droopy, we'll see. And the same there. Here there's a slight issue maybe, but it looks like it might print all right. So I'm just gonna, those ones should be fixed. But wait, is it bridging? Yeah, it's not properly bridging there, so I'm just gonna quickly go back in here. We find this section, it's these ones here, right? This is the issue. So if we just move this and the corresponding one on the other side, I think it'll mostly address the issue that we're seeing there. So something like that. Again, we need to export. So this is a part of the iterative process of error checking, right? So if I just reload this, it probably won't turn up anywhere except down here that it has the errors back. But if we, without fixing the errors yet, if we slice now, you should have seen that the blue lines that were there have disappeared. Which they have. So I think all the other places are fairly acceptable. I think they're so small and minor that we're not going to necessarily see anything. I'll know when I've got this printed on Monday. So I'm going to once again fix through netfab.
Tamsin wonders, first of all, she says that it looks good, and she wonders if this will be a 3-piece print.
Yeah. So if we go back to Maya, basically, yeah, the last third of the ship will print like this, and we'll include all of these other sections. The other thing that's going to be missing is these tank thingies there. So I didn't get that detail in. Probably would have taken me another half hour to an hour to fix up the issues that I've seen. But yeah, we're going to test print anyway. I think we will do that now. The only thing is I really do not want to... Wait, hang on. Yeah, okay, that's the STL. Slice now. I'm going to save our G code. And I'm going to get AlBen to copy it over. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going to get AlBen to copy over the G code we're going to save in our prints folder. And he'll copy that over so I can put it in the machine, because I've noticed that my Windows copy seems to keep logging out for no good reason. It could have been the fact that I logged into it yesterday. But we are going to get that on the printer, and you'll no doubt be seeing the results on Monday if you stay tuned. Thanks guys who have backed the campaign. If you haven't backed it yet, oh, maybe I should share that project link somewhere. Yeah, where is it? Oh, that was the other Traveller one too. That's the other thing too, guys. There's another Traveller campaign on at the moment for some awesome journals. Worth a look. We'll be sharing more on that later. Let's see, dashboard there, and we want our Discord link. Discord. Second Dynasty Discord. Oh, Twitch is the one we want. We're on Twitch right now, aren't we? Yeah. 12. And then Twitch is right there. Alright, so I'm just going to add this into the chat. That'll be our final thing for today. And yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we will see you next week, hopefully on Thursday. And then again the following Monday for our final live stream, where basically the last couple of hours will probably live stream. We'll see how it goes. Alright guys, thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.